Hi everyone, it's Erica from the Mike McCaddy team at Century 21 Affiliated here with your monthly Dyer market report. I actually do have 2 months. Time's going by so fast, I'm usually, a little bit behind on these, but sometimes it gives us a better picture to do 2 months at once. So, September and October real estate sales in the town of Dyer, Indiana. Some interesting stuff. So just the basic numbers. September, we sold 37 units of real estate. As always, the smallest condo to the biggest mansion in town. Average sales price of $320,000. A total of $11.8 million in real estate sales in Dyer. Average days on market is 76 days. So just over, what would that be? 45, 60, just over 2.5 months, something like that is average days on market. And that seems a little high, but we'll talk a little bit about why that is in a second. In October, we sold 26 units of real estate, so we went down by about 11 units, which isn't super unusual for, if you figure it takes 30 to 45 days, back when stuff would be closing in October, people were looking in, like end of August, beginning of September, which is school time, so a lot of people weren't looking heavily, Labor Day weekend and thereafter for a few weeks. But the average sales price was $251,000 for a total of $6.5 million in real estate. Average days on market, 54 days, so that went down by almost 2 weeks, so that's pretty good news. So you may have noticed the average September, $320,000. Average October, $251,000. That is a $69,000 price drop on our average sales prices. Average in August, so the month ahead, was $257,000. So it jumped up by $63,000 between August and September. So that's pretty extreme, particularly for this time of year and the way our market's been. So I looked into that a little bit more. There were 5 properties. So out of the 37 that we sold, 5 of the properties in September were over $500,000. The top one was $779,000. We had some in the high 500s. 668 was one of the higher ones. So when you have obviously a higher sales price like that, out of the ordinary, we had these 5 in 1 month, it skews that number. So I went through, without those 5 over that $500,000 mark, we had an average sales price of $271,000, which it seems more in line. It's $14,000 more than it was in August. It's $20,000 more than it was in October. But we'll keep an eye on that. I don't think that indicates that we have any big, price drop or market trouble in Dyer. Like I said, I think it was skewed because we had such big ticket ones. There were a couple at $400,000 and a ton at $300,000 in September. So just across the board, maybe those higher end properties were selling in September more so than August or October. So it makes sense. But we'll keep an eye on it. Again, I don't anticipate any weirdness about it. Right now, 63 active listings in the town of Dyer. Only 5 are new construction. Like we talked about, the new construction Dyer is slowing down. All the new construction, those 5 are in St. John or in Hanover Township. So it's that strip of Dyer that kind of slides down right on the state line in the west part of the county. Most of them actually were those duplex units they're selling in Emerald Crossing, and those things continue to sell like hotcakes. Overall, the average days on market for active listings, so how long it's taken to get from a brand new listing on the market to having a buyer sign a contract, we are at, it looks like 49 days on market. However, again, with some of these luxury properties, so this one was $400,000 here. I kept an eye on this because of the weirdness in September. The average days on market for the properties over $400,000 is 147 days. So if I take those out, average days on market for everything else in Dyer is only 39 days, which is awesome. It puts us in, good position, nice, steady market. Nothing's really slowing down in that. Although, based on these numbers, and I've heard about this, I'm sure you've read, national news reports about it and different things, happening in our market and nationwide, luxury home sales are slowing down. It's not unusual. I mean, luxury homes usually sit on the market a little longer than average. They're a little bit harder to attract buyers to. Even in a California real estate market where the average house is $800,000, their luxury market at $8 million is slower than their regular one at $800,000. So that in itself is not unusual. But we will continue to keep an eye on that, not just in Dyer, but, some of the towns in St. John, or some of the houses rather in St. John, parts of Cherville, Crown Point, those kinds of areas, these luxury homes. We may be seeing the beginning of the slowdown in our market here. We might not be. It might just be a coincidence. It might be just a regular market, but we'll keep an eye on it going forward. I will note, however, when I talked about those over 500,000 that were sold in September that kind of skewed our average sales price, one of those was on the market for 718 days. Finally found a buyer after 2 years, which is awesome. Another one was on there for, in the 200s. One of them was on there over a year. So those are selling. At least 5 of them sold. But again, it's taken an awfully long time to move these higher end, these $600,000, $700,000, $800,000 properties in Dyer off the market. So like I said, we'll keep an eye on that. As of right now, 44 pending listings. So this means that they've listed the property, a buyer's put in a contract, and they're waiting to close. Sometimes, they're just waiting for home inspections or the appraisal or just, the closing to be set. But, some of them, there are those handful of new constructions that are going to be pending, while the home is built. But the average of those is $281,000. Obviously, we don't know what they're going to actually sell for until they close. So I think in Dyer, the last time we looked at it, we were selling at like 97.6% of list price. So we should actually, assuming all these pendings close, some aren't going to, some will close lower, some will be kind of a surprise. But we're looking at an average still very close, maybe even a little higher than we had in the past couple months. So that's what we got for Dyer. Not too much going on. Stable market. We had that little bump with the luxury homes sold there. We'll keep an eye on that going forward too, because I'm curious to see, if those Illinois buyers are going to bring in the luxury homes are a bargain in Dyer. So we'll see what they have to say. If you're a Dyer seller, if you're interested in buying in Dyer, please let me know. I work there all the time. 219-765-2062. You can always text me at that number as well. If it's easier, send me an email at HS by Erica, that stands for Homes Sales by Erica, ERICA, at gmail.com. Comment below. Always check my Facebook page. I try to do 2 of these videos a week. One market update, one stuff for buyers and sellers, kind of answering questions and stuff like that. So please become a fan of my Facebook page or visit my website at homesalesbyerica.com. Thanks, and I'll talk to you guys soon. Bye-bye.